Oh my god, how boring. It's not burnt, it's brunette. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Tez. Today's video, we're going to really take a good look at the Melt Cosmetics Brunette palette. I've created 3 looks with this bad boy right here. If you guys are interested in today's video, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. I would really appreciate that. Without further ado, let's jump right in. So my brows are on and I just put them some concealer, the Light Illusion. And now let's go into this palette. This is such a neutral palette. I was a little shook. Honest first impression, pretty underwhelming. The only 3 shades I would say is quite interesting. These 3 shades kind of give me a little bit of the grunge that I was looking for, because a lot of the Melt palettes has that really grungy take. I already tried this palette once. Just diving and see what we can create with this palette. Only honestly these 3 shades I was more excited. The rest I'm like, honestly, you already pretty much have these colors in your collection, I'm sure. Also, honestly, I really love the color on it's like a copper orange color, but there's no copper orange in here. I'm a little surprised that there's no like a burnt copper orange shade in here. Oh, it's not burnt, it's brunette. Oh my god. Oh my god. The whole time I thought it was a burnt palette. I was like, burnt? Give me something toasty. Oh, it's a brunette palette, you guys. I'm a dumbass. I cannot be drinking and filming. But anyway, cheers. So today I will continue to use the Ariel X Morphe collab, this brush set. I love every brush in here. Every brush has its purpose. Really enjoy this brush set. So yeah, I'm going to be using these brushes. So just in case if you want to follow along, feel free to grab your brushes and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go into the first shade to kind of lightly set down the base that I have. This shade is called Suede. So I'll lightly buff the color out to kind of set down my concealer. All right, so next shade I shade Buff, and I just kind of want to see what dimension this can have on its own. I don't really see much, maybe a tiny little hint. You guys let me know if you see anything. In person, I see a little hint of like a light orange beigey color. Let's go into the shade 10, and I want to deepen things up a little bit. On my outer corner, outer V. Make sure you look straight so you can kind of pull the color out. Kind of just create a little bit of that cat-eyed effect. Ariel A20 brush. And I'm going to kind of buff the liner to define it a little bit. I'm gonna go into the shade Musk, this shade right here. I wanna go into this shade and kind of just, ooh. Oh wow. It's quite smooth. It's like a champagne gold. All right, now I wanna go into the shade Cork, this transitioning type of shade. I don't wanna pull that just above above this line so I can kind of gradient out my foxy eye. You still get a little bit of definition, but not a whole lot. You can definitely see cork in this area right here. I am still using Ariel's A20 brush. Okay, I am switching to Ariel's A25, a denser brush. I just want to take the shade Suede, this matte, kind of like a matte beige color, and I want to use it as a highlight for this one. I want to highlight my brow bone as well. They're nice, easy to blend, easy to work with. I quickly just cover up my under eyes. I mean, this can be your everyday look, and that's it. You can put on some lash, mascara, however you want, and it can be done like this. But of course, for the sake of the video, I'm kind of just want to deepen my outer V. I'm just gonna go back to the tint shade. This shade right here, I'm just gonna go back to it and kind of just deepen the outer V a little and pull the color out. And then I'm going to take the same color and kind of put that on my lower lash line as well. Gonna use the shade 10, the same shade, the Ariel A18. I'm just going to smoke out my lower lash line. I really love this brush. This brush is so precise and thin. You can do a lot with it, and I love that. Pulling the lower lash line out a little, ever so slightly. Okay, final. Ariel's A7 position. I'm going into the shade Musk, the same shade that we use on the eyelid. I just want to use this to kind of brighten the lower inner corner. This shade actually surprisingly has some, it pulls kind of a yellow gold than what it looks like in the pan. Because in the pan you would not expect there's actually quite a bit of the yellow in this shade, huh? It kind of just looks like a champagne gold color, but it doesn't look like a yellow gold. So I just want to point that out. This color actually pulls more yellow than what it looks like on the pan, which I do like. Let's pat a little bit on the inner corner as well. Why not, right? And maybe let's even fill this gap. Okay guys, I quickly pop on some lash, and I did not do my lower mascara because we're gonna move on to the second look. So for the inner rim, I used the Colourpop cream gel pencil in the shade lattice, and yeah, I put a little bit on the end as well. So yeah, this is the first look. I mean, I have no issue blending or using any of these shades. It does blend out nicely. So, I mean, it's really up to you guys if you already have these colors. So yeah, shall we move on to the second look? I think for the second look, let's go into the same shade Suede. And I kind of just want to lightly set the eyes really quickly. Okay, let's just go straight into the shade Bourbon. This more like a yellow mustard. There is that antique gold, and let's just pack that all over the eye. It is a pretty color. I'm gonna go into the shade Cork, the transition on Ariel's 825, and I'm just gonna like put that in the socket here just to define the nose and the eyes for a little bit. And I kind of want to use the same brush. I'm dipping into the shade Tan. This one, Tan. There is a little bit of a kick up. And I kind of want to go into the inner part of my eyes and kind of just tuck that in the inner corner part, inner eyelid. And I'm going to use the same shade and kind of pack that on the outer V. And just to really take it there, I'm gonna go into the shade Brunet, the shade right here, the deepest in the palette, and kind of just want to pack that on. I feel like there's a little bit of a green in it. I'm not so sure, but I can kind of feel like there is a little bit of a green in this brunette color. Do you guys feel that too? It's very deep and dark for sure, but it does blend out really, really nicely. I do like how the mattes blend out really, really effortlessly. I enjoy that. All right, I'm just gonna use the A18 brush and I'm going into the shade Brunette, and I'm gonna continue that on the lower lash line. I'm not really doing anything that crazy, but you guys can see how deep it can get. If you really wanted to go deep with this palette, you really can. And I kind of want to use this color to kind of make it wing. I'm gonna look straight to you and kind of hold the color. Like that. And I'm going to smoke a little bit on the lower, just halfway. This part of my lower lash line, I just want to highlight it with the shade Musk on the same brush, A18. And I'm gonna put Musk here just to brighten the inner corner. I'm going to kind of blend the two together in the center. Just soften the edges a little. So for the inner rim, I use the shade Macrame, a little bronzy orange type of a shade. And guys, this is the finished look on this side. So for look number 3, I'm just gonna go straight in with the shade Stout, and I want to pack that all over the center of my eyes, just kind of build up the color. This is such an interesting color. I mean, it looks kind of like a smoky green, but on the eyelid, it kind of just looks like a bronzy type of a metallic. It's kind of different when you put it on the eyes versus in the pan. Taking an Ariel A11, I'm going into the shade Cork because I just wanted to kind of fluff that through the inner socket area to define the eye shape. You guys see me do this a million times. Now on my finger, I'm going into the shade Bourbon. I'm just going to pack that on the inner part of my eyes to really bring out this color. Back to the shade Stout on my finger, and I just want to re-intensify this color and kind of blend everything out a little bit towards my outer V. Now I'm going into the shade Brunet on an Ariel A25. I'm going to pack on Brunet on my outer V area. Just taking the leftover, I'm going to buff out the whole crease. Same brush, I'm going back to cork and I just want to buff the edges out and kind of just like make sure everything is nice and blended. Back to Brunet on an A18 brush, I am going to kind of smoke out the outer lower lash and the inner lower lash to kind of create a little blank space in the middle. But also I do want to like make my inner corner a little bit slanted, a little bit feline, if you will. And I'm going to lightly drag this color outwards to kind of create like a blank space in between my outer V. Now I just really wanted to kind of define my outer V to create like a smoky wing liner with the shade Brunet. I'm also bringing Brunet to the inner lash line just to kind of frame and shape the eyes. Taking Ariel's A7 brush and taking the shade Bourbon, and I'm going to put Bourbon on the blank space that I left for my lower lash line. I'm going to take some glitter primer on the same brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Stout, and I want to pack Stout just on top of Bourbon. I'm going into the shade Stout on my finger. I'm just going to press that on my inner corner. I'm taking Ariel's A29 brush. I'm going back to the shade 10 and I just want to fluff that through the inner socket and kind of just like buff to balance the shape out and also kind of smoke out my outer V. Back to the shade Musk on an A7 brush. I just want to brighten this inner part of my inner corner pretty much the whole way. I just really need to brighten up my inner corner to give it that pop. A19 brush on the shade Buff. I'm going to use the shade to kind of brighten my brow bone area and kind of just like softly blend everything out to make sure everything is nice and blended. For the inner rim, I'm going into the Rimmel Scandal eyeliner in the shade Green. I'm going to line the inner and outer inner rim, and also might as well just pull this color out to kind of fill in the gap where I left the little negative space. And I'm thinking, you know what, might as well create a wing liner with it. I'm going into Ariel's A16 brush and kind of just lightly pull the wing out. Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Extra Frosting. I just want to line the center. Okay guys, this is the finished look number 3. What do we think? What do we think? Comment down below. Let me know if you guys like this look. I am so obsessed with this look. Oh my god, it makes me feel so fierce. I feel like I'm in the jungle. I feel like a leopard. It makes me feel some type of way. So I don't know. I feel like my first impression when I just opened this palette, I was like, oh my god, how boring. Oh my god, another neutral palette. But guess what? I was swatching around. I swatched from Pat McGrath, Tati Beauty, Colourpop. I found like a shade or two that's kind of close, but nothing quite exactly like these shades here, especially these three. I can't find anything in my collection that's quite like these. So I do feel like there's something kind of unique about this palette. I feel like the tones, I can't quite pinpoint like what's super duper special about these, but I feel like it's the tones. If you guys know what I'm trying to say, the tones that they choose for the Brunet palette is kind of a little bit of a grunge. Mel Cosmetics, to me as an outsider, because I've never tried Mel Cosmetics in my life, this is my first Mel palette. From like an outsider perspective, I always feel like there's that grunge twist to their palettes and their artistry. I mean, is it a boring neutral palette? Yes, but also no, because I mean, if you look at the first, let's say 5 shades, yes, they're super basic, super boring, but until you hit the last 3, that's when Mel Cosmetics magic kick in, is these 3 shades. I can't find anything in my collection that's quite like these. I mean, can you get the same looks that I created with your collection? Perhaps. I'm pretty sure if you mix and match, do a little cocktail, I'm pretty sure you can create pretty much the same look for sure. But I'm just like, honestly, the first impression using this palette, I was not impressed at all. It's just like, oh, so what's the hype? Yeah, it blends nicely until this look. I'm just like, okay, you know what? I think I kind of get the hype where like everyone goes crazy about Mel Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. I feel like I kind of get it because I'm kind of obsessed with this look. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think there's anything wrong with the quality besides, I would say this shade. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, it kind of started to get a little hard pan. So that's the only thing I noticed so far. Other than that, I definitely feel like the mattes are really easy to work with, easy to blend. So if you're missing that really neutral with some like grunge, with some spice to it, you may really enjoy this palette. So yeah, that is some of my thoughts on the palette. Do you really need to run out and get it? I don't know. It's really up to you. We'll have to do another swatcheroo, maybe swatch for my sanity, you know? I have so many neutral palette laying around. Maybe we should do another video. And let me know if you have already grabbed this palette, if you have been loving Mel Cosmetics eyeshadow for a long time. This is my first go around. Honestly, this palette kind of tickled my Mel Cosmetics palette interest. I'm kind of interested to try more. And that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoy. Comment down below, let me know which look is your fave. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.